Alright, so today we're going to do a little check-in. We are closing out of Aries season. We still have a new moon coming at a time that I do not know because I haven't been actively keeping up on it because I didn't want to get too attached to preparing for a new moon. But it is coming on the 17th or sometime late this evening, and it is doing something. But yeah, we're approaching Taurus season, which means that I have but 2 days to finish up this project. And if I were to give myself a grade, pause and, reflect on how I have done thus far. I suppose I didn't exactly design a syllabus, but I kind of did. I gave myself some guidelines. 15-minute video every day at 3 p.m. up by 4. Did I keep track of how many days I did this? No. It is up on YouTube for evidence, so I suppose that afterwards I can go through and determine what my score would be out of there's 30 days in Aries season. But I know that I did not show up at 3 every single day. Some of this is due to, I'm not sure if any of it is due to anxiety. Maybe all of it is. And at the same time, I live in a large family, and there's a lot of people grabbing my attention in a lot of ways, and a lot of places that, I want to be present. When my father comes home from a long trip, or we have the opportunity to go out somewhere, it was easy for me to push around my own rule of 3 p.m. At first, I was quite diligent about it, regardless of whether we had family over or not. Aries season was crazy, man. Anyways, I was like, yes, 3 p.m. And I stuck strong to it. But after about 5 days, I think, maybe even before then, I started to get a little flexible, a little loose. I think I missed 1 or 2 days completely. I lost sight of another one of my guidelines, which was to film for 15 minutes. Some days I filmed for 40 minutes. Other days I filmed for 4 yesterday. I mean, I filmed for longer, but I only posted 4 minutes of content. Another one of my guidelines was to not edit. And for the most part, I didn't. Yesterday I did, because I wasn't intending on posting yesterday's as the post. I was wanting to explore editing. But then I ran out of time. Did I run out of time, or did I just prioritize other things? Who knows? That's for me to explore. And that gets me to the heart of all of this. The reason that I wanted to engage in this challenge during Aries season was to grow more comfortable behind the camera, to grow more comfortable on YouTube, to put myself out there, and to see how I was doing, to build consistency. But if we look at the ways that I did well, I did put myself out here nearly every day. Compared to last month, that's multiple I think I have 30, 28, 29 videos, I don't know. But this is an unfathomable amount compared to last month. I've gained like 36 subscribers, I think I'm up to. Thank you so much for those of you who are here. I've received lovely comments from people saying that they're touched by my videos, and I've received questions from people responding to me sharing my voice, even when I don't know what I'm talking about, and I know that I have so far to go. Further, the conversations that I have here end up leading to really great conversations with my family and the people in my everyday life. So that is immensely valuable. Further, I have these videos to look back on forever and be like, I did that. That was like me kickstarting my YouTube. I was exploring. Even with me breaking my rules, it was in a state of exploration of how does this feel? And that's how we learn. I have been talking in my personal circles a bit about aligned mistakes and unaligned mistakes. And if you have that nudge in your brain, I have an Aries North node, so this, I think, is a voice that has become very loud for me since I've tuned into it. But if there's that voice that's like, what if you did this? And it can be difficult. Because, you know, there's impulsive thoughts, intrusive thoughts, and then there's that intuition. And sometimes you really do not know. All of those can be very, very Aries. Just in like aligned or shadow states. But sometimes you don't know until you act on it. And then you look at how you feel on the inside once you engaged in the process. For example, if you decide to sleep in when you wanted to do your laundry at 10 a.m. and you wake up at 11, do you feel like, wow, I'm well nourished, I'm glad that I took that extra hour of sleep and I can do my laundry now, I have time? Or do you feel like, man, like, do you spend time thinking about how you made a mistake? And if it's the latter, even if, you can either lean into that anxiety and build up shame and build a habit of making choices out of fear, like if I don't wake up at this time, my laundry won't get done, and it spirals, and then you start to dread your daily routines. I also have a 6th house in Aries, so routines and health have been big this month. But you can look at that experience and be like, okay, well, now I know that my priorities are to wake up consistently. So it's finding this balance between what, like, the rules that you set for yourself, for your reality, your boundaries, and you don't know where those lines are. You don't know what lines are truly conducive to your growth until you kind of step out and make mistakes. And that was a small example, the laundry example, but as someone with anxiety, it does not feel very small. And that gets us to perspective. It's all a matter of perspective, but it feels horrible to hear that from people when you are in a headspace that is anxious or really low. So I feel you. If you're in that headspace right now, I'm not going to just tell you to shift your perspective. Yes, it would help if you had if we could just turn on a switch and everything could be blissful all of the time. But that's not life. These things are a process, and you are your own beautiful process. Anyways, I'm getting a little bit sidetracked, but I just wanted to let you know in case you're struggling, or yeah, I didn't want that to be taken the wrong way. So yeah, those are the things that I think I did well, and including some areas that, you know, I made mistakes on. How do I want to go forward with this? What are my plans for Taurus season? Well, first, what have I learned? If I am telling you go out, make mistakes, it is because that is how we learn. So, I guess I learned that I don't really like this. I like sharing with you. I like having a YouTube channel. I know that. I like talking. I like hearing and like that. But I think that having a bit more of a centered plan before going into my YouTube videos at this point would be beneficial. It would make me feel like what I am sharing is a little bit more grounded. That's not to say that what I shared here isn't valuable. In the heart of Aries season, it was fitting for me to just do whatever and show up, or sometimes not show up. Very much fuck around and find out. Very much baby knew the fool energy. So like, if that is the archetype that we're going off of, I got an A+. I think I messed up and messed around in every way possible. Yeah. I mean, speaking of perspective, you know, I can find a way to turn this into I got an A+ or I got a B, because these are just letters. These are just letters. And I made the rules. Yeah. I think I would like to read poetry more often to you. I think that's something that I would like to start doing. And you can share your thoughts with me, but I have a lot of poems, and I think that if I'm not on screen for a little bit, and I create some kind of visual, because I'm also a designer, I'm an artist, some visual to play in the background, whether it's an animation, whether it's just a graphic, whether it's subtitles, something experimental that feels like it fits the theme, or a piece of art that can be the cover image for the poem, like an album cover, but for this one poem. Like an official visualizer, perhaps. I think I would like that very much. I would find that to be a nice series for me to create. I have like 3 poetry collections in the works and 4 albums. So I can't do all of it at once, but maybe sharing one poem at a time would be a great way to do that. So that's going forward. I like to keep a free space for me to open up my camera and just chat with you, but I don't think it'll be every day. Maybe I can do a weekly recap, or maybe a seasonal, you know, like what art I enjoyed in Aries season, or art I enjoyed in Taurus season. I love talking about art, and I want to continue reading and consuming art, and I've been feeling what I learned this month. I crave connection. I crave artistic connection. And I think that's a part of why I started this channel, was because I wanted to be able to share that with people. I have not been in a book club or an artistic community for a long time, and I don't have a lot of people around me that share my tastes or like are interested in the same kind of questions and material that I am. So I wanted to bring that here. So maybe I can start a book club. I'm just kind of ideating right now. Like, please let me know what you think would be fun. I can't do it all at once, but I would love to start somewhere. So right now, my kind of like vaguely clear plan is to share some poetry in Taurus season. And then, yeah, to talk more about art, give recommendations. I really don't know. I have a poem called Possessions, which I hope to share with you soon. And not to spoil it, but it basically comes down to how the only thing I feel like I own are questions. And I think that that's fitting for the lessons that I learned this season and relearned. I don't know much of anything. I can be in tune with myself, and I can perform confidence. But all of these words, I can always ask myself why and what do they mean. And that's where we leave off. And I guess that just means that there gets to be a next chapter of the story, because there's more for us to explore. So with that, thank you for being here. Thank you for following this non-linear journey with me. And have a wonderful day. I love you very much. See you next time in the Maraverse.